The birth of a villain, Pepper, the ruthless serial killer. In a world where most foods are harmless and delicious, there exists one small but deadly vegetable that eliminates its victim silently and mercilessly. It is born innocent and green, but over time it changes, turning red and furious, lurking in the shadows of the bush, waiting for the first unsuspecting human to reach out. The first victim. A poor worker comes to harvest the crop. His hand touches the pepper, picks it, and absent-mindedly rubs his tired eyes. Suddenly, screams fill the air, tears start flowing, and his whole world turns into a burning inferno. The silent killer, the pepper, has begun its work. Why being born spicy is the worst fate. It all starts with a small, innocent pepper. As a baby, it lives peacefully among the leaves, full of hope, unaware of the rage and vengeance awaiting its future. But then, days pass, and it changes. Its color turns red, its taste becomes hotter than ever, and unwillingly, it transforms into something even it fears, a destroyer. The pepper's fate after harvest. Once picked, the poor pepper has no way back. It either ends up in a factory, transformed into torturous hot sauce, or is ground into a deadly powder sprinkled over chips and snacks. Eventually, it finds its way into various dishes until some poor soul takes a bite and realizes, life is not beautiful. Conquering plates, pepper in disguise. Pepper is smarter than to always attack openly. Sometimes it hides in rich, colorful sauces, where a simple bite can set the throat of its victim on fire. Other times, it sneaks into traditional dishes, silent and invisible. Every time someone unknowingly eats a spicy bite, the pepper claims another victory. Pepper, a weapon in the hands of ruthless chefs. Never trust a chef who loves spicy food. These people are expert psychologists who know exactly how to catch their victims off guard. They innocently place a dish in front of you and say, "It's just a little spicy, nothing serious." But the moment you take the first bite, your mouth turns into hellfire. As you desperately search for a glass of milk, they watch you with an evil smile and say, "Was it spicy?" Pepper, the enemy that accepts no pleas. Unlike other foods, if you accidentally eat too much pepper, there's no hope for rescue. Water, it only makes things worse. Bread, too slow. Milk maybe helps a little, but by then you've already questioned every decision in your life. Pepper is an enemy that once it attacks, accepts no apologies. You just have to burn and watch your soul detach from your body. The betrayer on the dinner table, hidden pepper. The worst pepper attack is the one you don't expect. A bite of an innocent-looking dish that seems just like always, but suddenly, boom. In an instant, your head feels like it's exploding, your eyes water, and your tongue ceases to exist. The host, looking innocent, says, "Oh no, I forgot to mention this dish is a little spicy." And in that moment, you realize trusting humans was a terrible mistake. Spicy food contests, a nightmare in disguise. People who enter chili eating contests are the same ones who, upon realizing hell's door isn't locked, willingly walk in. In these contests, participants take a bite of peppers like the Carolina Reaper, and as sweat pours down their faces, they collapse and groan. But the funniest part? After enduring this torture, they look at the camera with a forced smile and say, "That was great, just a little spicy." Pepper's deadly attack on exam night. It's exam night. Your eyes are half closed from exhaustion and your brain has no more processing power. To stay awake, you decide to eat some chips, unaware that these chips are brutally coated with deadly chili powder. The first bite sets your tongue on fire. Sweat forms on your forehead, your brain reboots, and all your study notes are erased from memory. You try to stay calm, but a muffled scream escapes your throat. You gulp down a glass of water, only to make things worse. Now, not only is your tongue burning, but you feel like you've accidentally activated a volcano in your stomach. The exam? No longer important. You have only one mission: survival. Pepper's revenge on a first date. First dates are always crucial. You want to look calm and attractive, leave a good impression, and of course, eat with dignity. But suddenly, this dreamy moment turns into a nightmare, engineered by none other than Pepper. You and your date go to a fancy new restaurant. The candles flicker, soft music plays, deep gazes are exchanged, until the waiter brings the food. You take a bite, and boom, the chili bomb explodes. Within seconds, your face turns red, your eyes fill with tears, and your nose starts running. You open your mouth to speak, but all that comes out is a choking, gasping cough that makes the entire restaurant stare at you. You try to act normal, but the fire is too intense, leaving you flapping your mouth like a fish out of water. Finally, your date asks with concern, "Are you okay?" And with a hoarse voice, you manage to whisper your last words of pride, "It's just a little spicy." When grandma accidentally buys jalapenos. No one is as skilled in cooking as grandmothers, but sometimes a small mistake can turn a harmless home cooked meal into a weapon of mass destruction. Imagine visiting your grandma for lunch. She lovingly prepares a traditional dish and says, "Here, sweetheart, I added lots of sweet peppers to make it extra tasty." You take a spoonful, completely relaxed, and immediately realize grandma has made a terrible mistake. These aren't sweet peppers, these are blazing jalapenos. For a moment, you freeze. The fire spreads in your throat, your brain issues an emergency evacuation order, but you can't react. Why? Because grandma is smiling at you, waiting for your feedback. Forcing a fake smile with tears in your eyes, you whisper in your mind, "I must not tell her," the nightmare of local cuisine in foreign travels. Traveling abroad is always exciting, but you should never underestimate the power of unfamiliar peppers. Imagine being in Thailand or India, ordering a local dish. When the waiter asks, "With or without chili?" you confidently reply, "I love spicy food." This is your fatal mistake. You don't realize that in these countries, the word spicy has an entirely different meaning. You take one bite and instantly feel like you've been transported to the center of the sun. Your tongue disappears, your stomach ignites, and suddenly your soul starts detaching from your body. But it's too soon to surrender. You try to keep a straight face, but inside, a war between life and death is raging. You want to scream, "This dish is an internationally banned weapon," but your pride stops you. So instead, you just smile at the waiter and say, "Delicious. Just a little spicy." The death sandwich, a trap in the menu. A new restaurant just opened, and everyone's talking about how amazing their sandwiches are. You're starving and excited, scanning the menu. Among all the tempting choices, one catches your eye: chef's special sandwich. No details, no description, just one mysterious line underneath. A taste you'll never forget. The sandwich arrives. Looks normal. Crispy bread, juicy meat, just the right amount of sauce, and fresh veggies. You take the first bite. Delicious. So damn good. But then, just as you go for the second bite, something goes terribly wrong. Your tongue goes numb. Feels like someone just lit a flamethrower inside your mouth. The heat spreads like wildfire, creeping down your throat, making your eyes water and your breath shaky. Water? Useless. Bread? Nothing helps. A second later, you're sweating like crazy, your whole body burning from the inside. Panicked, you look at the waiter, who's been watching you from across the room with a knowing smirk. And then, finally, he speaks. "Oh yeah, that sandwich is made with our special sauce, Carolina Reaper and Scorpion Pepper Mix." At that moment, reality hits you. The chef's special isn't just a sandwich. It's a trap. And you're its latest victim. Pepper, the enemy that never forgets. This ruthless entity never forgets revenge. Maybe today you escaped its wrath, but one day, somewhere, a simple bite will challenge you. Whether you love pepper or fear it, it will find a way into your life. So every time you look at your plate, remember, there is one undeniable truth in this world. Pepper always wins. If you like this style of story, don't miss our next story.